Hi Elena, how are you?
I'm okay.
How are you feeling ahead of this Rangers game on Sunday? Obviously, it's taken on sort of extra significance now.
Yeah, it feels like forever since we played last time. Obviously, we know about the history of the Glasgow Derby, so we are very excited and looking forward to a great game.
Can I ask what, first of all, sort of technical aspects and tactical aspects you've been working on in the last couple of weeks to kind of lift the level and try and get the result on Sunday?
Mostly, it's always been. Obviously, we've had 8-9 players away with the national team, so it's not been so much collective. It's been more focused on the technical principle aspect, and that's something that the coaching staff and the players have done really good. I think obviously everybody back today. It was a great session in terms of the tactical part, because now it was more focused, the tactical part collectively, to try to making sure that we have a great game on Sunday.
And that's what you'll be working on for the rest of the week?
Today we were focused on the tactical collective part. Otherwise, it's been a lot of intensity towards our principles, 1v1s, and making sure that we win our duels, and all of those things.
We've spoken a lot. Obviously, we've had the 3 defeats, and the psychology has been a huge part of that when we've spoken after those games. How have you psychologically kind of managed the players through this 2-week period where you haven't had competitive games?
I think I said it after the game when we lost against Glasgow City. I think that game was a very harsh one. That's sometimes how football is, because I think performance-wise, I think we put in a great performance in terms of bouncing back from our performance against Hibs and Hearts, which I think was very, very poor. It's not our standards, and it was not good enough. Against Glasgow City, we should have got more from that game, and that's how football can be harsh. And I said to the players, if we're gonna lose, we need to lose that harsh way, not because we're not good enough. And that's why I don't think that the physical point of that picture has not been that hard. It was a very painful loss, but I think that the players gained in confidence level, because I think that we played well. We just didn't get the result, which was very harsh, like I said before. So I think the players are very excited, because we have 3 games in a week now as well. So we want to start really, really good on Sunday.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask as well what your message to the fans who are kind of going into this game maybe a bit more nervous than they might usually be. Obviously always nervous for a big game against Rangers, and we haven't had a huge amount of success against them in recent times, but what would your message be?
No, I think the message needs to be that it's more bringing excitement than nervous, because that's what the feeling is in the camp. We're really excited, and we're really eager to go out on Sunday and making sure that we show out the best Celtic that we possibly can. We know that the fans, I think that the fans helped the girls a lot at New Douglas Park, because it was the first time we played in a home in a long, long time. So you can hear the fans, and we love them, and we want to make sure that we perform the little extra for them as well, so they can be proud of cheering for the team that they love. And we want to give back to them. And we all know that when we play against Rangers, the energy level is really needed, because it's a different kind of game. So we really need the fans behind us, and they've been showing the support no matter what. So really excited to see them on Sunday, and are really looking forward to hear them.
Just finally from me, sorry, just about you said the players coming back from international break. Can we just have a squad update on whether anyone isn't available who we might expect to be available?
Sorry. If we look at today's session, the only player, or not the only player, we had Craigie, Goldie, Vestine, and Luana, who were not training full, so it's the same 4.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi Elena. Just on that kind of mentality, I suppose, in terms of beating Rangers, it's been a while, I think, since Celtic have beaten Rangers. They're obviously high in confidence, having just won the cup and that kind of stuff. How do you as a team who maybe lower in confidence go over there and turn them over?
I think it just comes to like treating this game as a derby. we can't focus on what has been and focus on what they have done, because it's a derby, and in a derby it's a war. For me, it's a different game in terms of mentality-wise. It's about a fight. It's about showing up in a derby and making sure that we don't lose, because we know what this game means history-wise, but we also have this. We have this. How do you say, rivalry between us, and it's a rivalry that you want to feel, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, and obviously it's a busy week with 3 games, and all of them must wins now, given the league position. Is that an added motivation? I suppose obviously the game is massive, but it's just a huge game, and the next game after that is a huge game, and the game after that. I guess how do you get from the position where you're playing well, but you didn't get the win at City, to now would you have to win these 3 games?
I think that was the message before we played Glasgow City. Like, yes, we can talk about a lot of things tactically, like this is how we play, and but in the end, it's always about the team that wins the game, no matter how you play. And I think that was something that we did really well against Glasgow City. I don't think that we played the best football, but the players fought for each other. And that's what we need to see against Rangers on Sunday. And I think that togetherness, when we're that strong, sometimes, most of the times you win. And I think we should have got at least a draw against Glasgow City. But that is what I want to see. I want to see that fire in the players' eyes. I want to see that fire to make sure that we do everything we can to get over that line and win against Rangers on Sunday.
Okay, and just finally from me, it's an asking one, Lisa Rogers away on an emergency loan to Aberdeen.
Yeah.
I think that's a few times this year we've seen a Celtic keeper go on emergency loan. I was wondering what the reasons behind that, rather than say send them on loan for a longer term, to keep them here and then only every now and then send them out for a week.
I think it was obviously it was the case that maybe we would have a long-term loan to one of the goalkeepers. But in the beginning of the year, we didn't know if Chloe Logan was available to play because of being in and out and having some injury problems, and we can't send out a long-term loan when we only have 1 goalkeeper or 2 goalkeepers that are fit. Now we have 3 fit players, and obviously Aberdeen needed help, so we want our goalkeepers to try to, like, Lisa is a very promising goalkeeper. She's very young and she has a bright future ahead of her, and right now she needs playing time, and that's something she's going to get at Aberdeen. So it has nothing to do about long-term or emergency. Just in this case, we have 3 fit goalkeepers, and then we have the possibility to help another team with a great goalkeeper.
Okay, no worries, thanks.
Hi Elena, thank you very much for taking the time today. I'll try and keep this relatively quick for you. But coming off the back of the Glasgow City result, obviously you spoke after the match about your disappointment, particularly the manner in losing the late goal. But did you see enough in that game to take some momentum into the game against Rangers? And was there enough positives there for you to galvanise the girls in terms of getting them ready for this game? We hear a lot of managers talk about you don't need to be motivated for games against your rivals, but obviously you have to focus on being disciplined, looking at the strategic and tactical elements. What were the key elements you saw in that game that you want the girls to take into the game against Rangers?
I would say mostly the second half. I think in first half we had it in possession, we had the ball, but we didn't create anything. Second half, we created more. The players were more leaned forward. We created some chances that probably we should have scored, but we created chances, and we need to make the other team defend more. And that's something that we've been talking about in terms of making sure that we make the other team defend their box and their goal, because when we do that, that's when it gets dangerous, and that's when we could create chances to score a goal. But overall, I think over 90 minutes, we were pretty solid defensively as well. I think we were pretty aggressive in terms of winning first and second balls. I think Bruna and Kelly did really well in terms of making sure that they protect the central areas. And I think obviously we've been talking a lot about making sure that we need to defend the set plays, and we did until the 85th minute, and that's something we've been talking about. But I would say what I want to see more of what we did against Glasgow City the second half, because that was a team that was more dominant, and that's something that I really want to see from the team on Sunday as well. So hopefully we'll see that.
Fantastic. And a lot of words have been bandied about recently: mentality, resilience, fortitude. We see it at every team at every level. Coming off the historic season last year, obviously a number of outgoings, a number of incoming players as well. How important are the players, though, that are kind of relative veterans to the team? Your captain, Kelly Clark, obviously Chloe Craig, who's obviously not able to play at the moment, Amy Gallagher. How important are they in setting the expectation and translating your instructions onto the park for the relative new players?
I think in terms of having the players, in terms of Kelly, obviously Craigie, she is doing rehab, but she's very important for us outside the pitch right now. I would say that Nats obviously is a very experienced player. I do think that the new players as well has been coming in with a great mindset. I think Lucy Ashwood Clifford has been one of the players as well that has been very, she's a very influenced player in our team as well. I think like Saoirse is coming in as well with a great leadership, Abby as well. I think Shannon and Maz has stepping in and becoming very important for us. So I think it's about making sure that the players understand the environment and the mentality that we have within our team and what Celtic is all about. And I think coming from 3 losses, it's been very, very hard on the group. For me, for the players, because we're not used to being in this situation. But what I saw against Glasgow City last game is the team that I want to see. And that's something that we're going to keep working towards, because if we can be that strong and that lean forward, I think it's going to be hard for any team to face us. So that is what we need to take away from that game, and that's what we need to show on Sunday.
Great. And one very quick last point. As a player yourself, you obviously encountered some challenges as a player. You were able to navigate those. How important is being able to draw on those experiences as a player as you go into your management career, and obviously help the team overcome this slightly challenging period that we're in at the moment?
I think it's been obviously a key, because taking that experience in your manager career helps you a lot to understand different things. You understand what goes on in a player's head. You understand the different balance of being on the pitch and off the pitch. And that's something, obviously, like for me, it's very important to see the person behind the player. And I would say that that's one of my strengths in terms of making sure that I understand the person behind the players and the connection before the correction, like I usually say. But I would say that I think that is the reason as well. I'm pretty young, so I can come close to the players and making sure that they understand what I want from them and understand how I am as a coach. And I think the girls has been doing brilliant. Obviously, the last game, like I said before, I don't think that we've been good enough before Glasgow City. And I think what we need to show against Rangers is a winning mentality in terms of like when we're good and when we win games, we need to do that more often. And that's what I want to see. If that has helped me as a manager, probably yes. But I would say that as a person, how I am as a person has always been how I am as a person, and that reflects to how I am as a leader. And I think it's not a big difference from how I was a player when I was the captain of Hammarby, but it's obviously helped me. But I don't think that is very important right now. I need to make sure that we win the next game, and that is the only focus I have.
Okay, Elena, realistically, is this a game where the pressure is on you on Sunday afternoon or on Celtic on Sunday afternoon?
If you look at the table, I would say it's more on Rangers, depending on, because they're higher up. But for our message within the camp is this is our game in terms of twisting things around. I think there's no secret about that. We're coming into this game with 3 losses in a row, and we really really want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So we're very excited, and we're feeling a hunger of making sure that we step up on Sunday in a Glasgow Derby, and we want to show to our fans, to ourselves, that we are in it for a big fight.
You mentioned there it's like a war when there's a derby like this. Do you feel as though these games are different?
Yes, I do, and I think that's a big part of why I like the Glasgow Derby so much, because you can feel it everywhere that this is a game that you really want to win.
Can I ask you just what's been your favourite moment in this fixture, and what's been your least favourite moment in this fixture?
I would say obviously the best feeling was when we won in the St. Patrick's Day last year, and I feel like I missed that feeling. So I really want us to make sure that we go out on Sunday as winners, because it's the best feeling you can have, and we want to make sure that we give back to the fans, because they've been supporting us the last 3 games without getting anything back. So we want to give back to the fans and making sure that we win on Sunday. The least favorite, I would say, is my red card, because that's something I'm not really proud of.
And if you were to get the win on Sunday and come away from it with the 3 points, you feel as though that would ignite your title drive going into the final run-in of the campaign?
I think that will change many things in the camp. I think, obviously, like I said before, we've been struggling in terms of it's not easy. It's not easy to come from a three game losses in a row, but I do think that if we manage to do our things right on Sunday and we manage to win, I think that's gonna give a lot to the players and a lot of energy in the camp.
You still feel as though this team can go on and successfully defend their title?
I need to believe, and the players are believing in it, and we need to believe that we're going to win on Sunday and turn things over.